My first instrument was drums, actually. The whole reason I'm playing music in the first place because my dad, because he was in a band with his brothers when I was very young, and I was brought up around them practicing in the house and going to see them play live, and in the car on holidays or on long journeys he would put on like Extreme or Thunder or Stevie Wonder or the Eagles, Deep Purple, like all these old school bands that Bee Gees, which is a funny one but they're great for harmonies, good education for harmonies there, 3 parts and all that. And he would kind of like emphasize certain parts of the instrumentation, whether there was a great drum fill or, you know, there was a great guitar solo or a bit on the bass. Like a good example would be Paul Simon, You Can Call Me Al, I think the name of the song is. And there's a bit where the bass does this slap bit and then it kind of reverses and stuff. And he used to point it out every time. And when you're a kid and you're impressionable and you've got someone that you respect and, you know, idolize because your dad when you're a kid, and he's there going, listen to this, and you kind of, you know, you catch on and it teaches your ear to pick out different parts of the instrumentation. So I think I've always had an ability to single out instruments in the music and hear what they're doing. A good musical ear, so it's thanks to him that is the way it is. But yeah, he used to work for this dude that was a drummer, and he had some meal there. We had some like Christmas party or whatever, and there was a drum kit set up, full drum kit, you know, massive Rogers kit with like cymbals all over it. And I was like, can I go and play it? They let me play it, and I could hold a beat straight away. So they got me a drum kit for Christmas, and I started playing, and I got pretty good at drumming, and that was really fun. I did that for a long time, and then I got heavily into skateboarding, and then had a big leg injury where I couldn't drum because I couldn't keep my leg. My leg had to be straight. So my dad, being the guitar player in the band, had his old Strat lying around. There was a Jackson Pro from like '94. There was like a '70s American Strat, and they were just cased up in the garage because he stopped playing at that point and he was working all the time. So I picked that up instead, and I plugged that through a Roland GP16 guitar processor. I don't know if you remember those. And that went into this McCoy 90-watt Cobra power amp. Carlsbro Cobra power amp. PA90 it was called. And it was this really crappy, like, old school amp going into this 15-inch McCoy speaker. So it was just the worst sounding thing. But it didn't matter because at the time I was just playing, you know, leg was ruined, so I'm there learning. I started on Metallica and I got going with that. But I think if I hadn't started drums first, or had my dad telling me to listen to different bits of the instrumentation as a child, I probably wouldn't have caught on so quick. It was a very quick learning process with the guitar. Kind of caught on, you know, after a few months. I'd kind of got a few Metallica songs down, not the solos at that point, and it built up over time. But I mean, I think the way I learned, I think, is probably the best way to learn. You don't have tab books, you don't have someone teaching you how to do it. All you have is the record that you can rewind to go over those bits that you really wanted to learn how to play, and just use your ear and work it out. And being familiar with drums, I had a good sense of rhythm. So like, my advice to anyone trying to learn would be like, have a good sense of rhythm, listen to what you're trying to play rather than look or get someone to show you. You know, really listen, because it'll train your ear. And it's so rewarding because that's how you learn. You know, at the end of the day, you learn quicker that way. And also when it comes to writing your own material, because you've taken it all on board and it's all embedded somewhere in your brain.